Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're about to make the prayers for havdala, to let go of Shabbat and enter into the days of the week. When we first started doing this, it was so light out, even at 8 o'clock at night Central Time, that we, felt a little funny to be doing havdala, but always by the end it's dark. But now it's dark. Now it's getting dark. It's getting darker. I guess the days are getting shorter. It's hard to believe we are in these 7 weeks now. I guess we're 2 weeks into our ascent of the 7 weeks of consolation that will lead us to Rosh Hashanah, the new year. I like to think of time as a friend, but it isn't always, is it? Sometimes it just goes too quickly. So, the portion this morning was Ekev, and Ekev, the meaning of Ekev, heel. The rabbis ask, what are we on the heels of? What are we on the heels of? Are we on the heels of something messianic? Are we on the heels of something that will be redemptive? God, I hope so. So I hope it's been a renewing Shabbat for everyone. I hope there was something you did today that lifted your spirit. There's that story about the rabbi that just wouldn't come into the shul. They finally went out and they said, Rabbi, what's wrong? He said, there's no room for me in there. And they said, what do you mean there's no room for you? The words have no lift. He said, the words have no lift. I kind of imagine Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz saying something like that. Blessed memory. What a loss. But he gave the Jewish world so much in his accessible Talmud and in all of the things that he did, the things that he wrote. And I just read today that another one of our teachers, Manny Gold, a rabbi in New York, I had him as a teacher in New York, in rabbinical school.
I wrote a piece.
Did you read a piece about Manny Gold?
About all of them.
Maybe we should share that. Yeah, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
A teaching about teachers, for sure. What a nice way to begin. Think about your teachers. Think about your influences. Think about the people who made a difference because they cared enough to prepare, and think about what they were teaching you and what you took from them. Jim was looking for his piece. We're actually at another service. But here we go. You have it? I'm going to find that piece.
Yeah, it's good.
And then we'll make havdala. Good. So here's the piece. I think I saw it.
All right.
Pull it up. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
I got 2 pieces.
There you go.
This is called the Gedolei Hador, the greats of the generations. The greats of a generation, we've lost a few this week. Those who know will know. And I was influenced by several of them, mashpia, influencers, lines of transmission. From one, I learned to be careful, insiders, outsiders, and to show up regularly. Be a righteous skeptic. Be dependable. You may not always be wise or original, but you can be dependable. And from them all, pay attention to what you received from whom. Before the elegy, live as if they are inside you.
Nice.
I have one about Rabbi Steinsaltz. You know that?
Sure.
Along Agron Street, adjacent to Independence Park, Jerusalem, near the entry to George Eliot Street. I saw him there every day. We were both regular. I was going somewhere, he was taking a break. A pipe in his hand, he was taking a break from thinking. Myself without a destination, but always in the same place. We said hello. After a few days, we exchanged words. At the time, I wasn't thinking about who he was. To me, just a guy that hung around the same delightful little street I passed, George Eliot Street. I think he had an office there. After a few days, we exchanged words. One day, I was with a friend, longtime resident of Jerusalem. Man with pipe and I spoke as I passed. He asked about the guitar I usually carried. I didn't have it that day. Do you know who that is? My friend said as we continued on. That's Steinsaltz. He's working on something big. At the time, it didn't occur to me, though I knew him by reputation. And of course, that's him, I thought. He was distinctive looking, even there, among a city of distinctive looking individuals. But in my version of him, he was always deep in thought. It never occurred to me to interrupt or inquire more, though it was he who initiated conversation. This story is also a story of that place and that time, as well as the story of another unforgettable personage deep into mind and soul every day, the same way, the same time. Rest in peace, Rabbi Steinsaltz. I have read all your books. You opened onto worlds.
Nice. Beautiful. So we make the prayers and help us let go of Shabbat. Yeah? Make the prayers.
Okay.
Yeah?
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא הגפן ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא וסני ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא יורי האש. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המבדיל בין קודש לחול, between the holy and the not yet holy. Blessed are you, distinguishes between the holy and the not yet holy.
We wish each other a Shavua Tov. This Shavua, this week brings the Parsha of Re'eh. I put before you the blessing and the curse. Choose the blessing that you may live, it says. Choose the blessing. Tomorrow, the 6th anniversary, August 9th, right, of the killing of Mike Brown Jr. A moment I think people in St. Louis and across the world will not forget, because it sparked something that hasn't stopped, and that's continuing. It's bringing kind of more and more people, bringing more and more people into this awareness of a desire for change. That more and more people will choose the blessing that we may all live. So maybe we didn't sing Adon Olam on Shabbat. So maybe we should end with Adon Olam? We didn't sing Adon Olam on Shabbat. So maybe we should end with Adon Olam? Something that says, don't be afraid. Don't ever come out of fear. Come out of yirah, not pachad. Come out of awe, not fear. Have a chance.
שמלך בטרם כל יציר נברא והתנסה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא Shimoni Kara Yachari Hitlotako Levado Imloch Nora Aveuaya Aveube Veuye Difara Vitifara Biado Afkirchi Etisha Yaira Veimamchi Griati Adonai Lo Yira Lo Yira Into your hands I entrust my spirit. Time that I lie down and the time that I rise up. With my spirit, my body too. God is with me, I shall not fear. Biado Afkirchi Beitisha Yairavi Imchi Viati Adonali Velo Ira Adonali Velo Ira
Reaching across these airwaves to all of you, especially to my good friend Josephine Weil and her family. We are between the Hebrew yard side of Gabe's death and the secular yard side of his death. So we'll spend some days this week, I know, remembering Gabe Weil and all the teachings of his life. His bar mitzvah portion was true, make me a sanctuary. And Gabe taught us that each one of us can be a sanctuary. And so even though we are kind of stuck in our own spaces, when we do choose the blessing, hopefully we will feel the holiness that we can bring to every moment. So on the shoulders of all of those who have gone before, and praying that they inspire us to go into this week that may be a challenging week for this community. We give each other a blessing. I say to all of you, Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and guard you and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, may the light of hope flow through us. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May all that is good and high and holy bless us with peace, peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in our communities, and God willing soon, may there be justice and peace for all creation as we go through these challenging times. And Shavua Tov, everyone. Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace.